Hello friends, welcome to the TechBSoft. So today we are going to cover covariant return types in overriding. Okay, so what are the covariant return type? What does it call? That we are going to cover now. So in the overriding series is going on, right? Polymorphism. So we have seen many scenarios, right? How to create object in overriding, what is the overriding rules, right? So the same thing we are continuing today, and we will cover covariant return type on it, right? Now let's come to the document once. So here we are looking that rule for overriding, right? So what is the rule of overriding that we are going to cover? So if the parent and child class having the method with the same name, right, with the same signature, same name with the same signature, that is the rule of overriding, right? If the parent and child class having the method with the same name and same signature, right? Let me write that. Same signature also will cover, signature also will cover like name, okay, argument and return values, right? So let's say I have one method called test, right, in the parent class. Suppose let me keep it void here, okay? Let me keep it void now. Okay, so I have a parent class and I have a child class. Parent and child class are having a method like test. So we know that test method signature should be the same. Return values, access modifier also having some flexibility, that also I will let you know. But right now we are talking about this return type only. Okay, because we are covering the rule of covariant return type, right? So if I'm writing a method test, and if you can look, void is a return value here, right? So that signature should be the same, but we have one flexibility here, which that rule has changed from the JDK 1.5 onwards. Okay, before 1.5 it was completely must that signature must be the same. So what the rule changed from the 1.5 onwards, which is called covariant return type, right? So what is that covariant return type that we are going to understand now? Let's say in the parent class I am writing a one test method, and the test method is having return values like shape, possible, right? Method can return either primitive type or object type, right? It could be written any type. So shape is object, I mean kind of class only, right? It is a class. So it may be possibility where a shape test is returning the shape type. Actually here I am writing shape and circle. So circle is a child class of the shape class, right? So in the parent class, if you are writing a test method and it is returning the shape, then I have a two choice in the child class. What are the two choice I have? Either I can return here shape or I can return here circle, right? That means the method where we are overriding into a child class, either I can return the same which is returning by the parent, or I can return the child of that class if they have in the child class, right, when we are overriding it. So I have two choices here, either I can return the shape or I can return the circle, right? So that is called covariant return type. But let me take a one more scenario here. One more scenario. Let's say suppose if parent is returning the circle here, right? Can child return the parent, right? This is not possible, right? This is not possible. So if the parent class having a method which is returning the child class, by like circle is a child class only, right? If the parent class having a method which is returning the child class type, right, then the child class method cannot be written the parent type. I mean reverse cannot be possible. If we will do it, it will be compile time error. So that time I don't have a choice. In this case here I have to keep only the circle. If we will keep the shape here, it will be error. So here I have to keep circle. So these are the two scenarios, scenario number 1, right, and scenario number 2, right? So that you have to understand, right? If the parent class are having a method which is returning the parent type, right, method is returning the parent type. So shape and circle, these are the two different classes which are having some relationship, right? So I am it will happen, right, when you will work on the project, you will take many classes, they are having some relationship, and that relationship you are returning with the method, right? That method you are that classes you are returning with the method. So whenever you are overriding, right, that time you have to take care of it, right? So what is a covariant return type? Yeah, what is that? Let me write down the definition of it one more time, right? If the parent class method returning, right, a, if a parent class method is returning a parent class, okay, so here do not confuse. Here parent class is different and method, here I'm talking about the returning value, returning a parent class, right, or type of parent class. Method returning a type of parent class, a type of parent class, then we can return, we can return what? We can return either parent or child, right, child into the child class, into the child class method, right? So covariant return type will say that if the parent class method is returning a type of parent class, then we can return either child, right, we can return either parent or child, either parent or child into the child class method, right? And if we have a one more option here, right, that is the rule number 1. The second rule, what it is there? If the parent class method is returning a type of child class, not parent class, type of child class, then we can return only child into the return method. We can return only the child into the child class method, right? We don't have two choices here because parent class method is returning the parent only. So this is called covariant return type. That rule has changed from the 1.5 onwards. From before 1.5 onwards, it was a different rule, right? So if someone will ask what are the covariant return type, you can say that normally people say that the signature must be the same, right? In the signature, what does it come? Return values, right? Method signature will consider return values, method name and argument, right? So this is comes under this covariant return type. So let's say someone example. So I have created one shape class and circle class. These are the two classes where shape is a parent and circle is a child, right? It is extending the shape. Body I am not writing, okay, we may write, okay, but right now we are interested on the understanding the concepts only, right? If you want, let me write, okay. So here in the shape, let me write a one kind of area, right? So like void calculate area, something like that, calculate area, okay. So void calculate area I am writing here, so that area only, okay. And that circle class, what we are doing, we are overriding this method which is called area. So void area, right, and here I will override this method at override. So circle class shape is having an area method and circle is having a one area, right? So shape and circle having a relationship where shape is parent, circle is child. Now I am going to use some this in other place, right? So I created two more classes. One is a parent class. So parent class having a one method like test which is returning a parent type, whereas the class which is a child, right, here also I am returning the either child type or I can return here parent type. I have two choices. I can return any one of them, right? So that is only called the covariant return type. Let me test it. So I will create a one main method here, main class, right? So I can write not main, let me rename it once. Here m should be capital or like test class, okay. Instead of main, let me write test here, so there will not be any confusion, okay. And here I am writing a main method, and what I'm doing here, I'm going to use parent and child, not shape and circle. Shape and circle, that already a different class, right? Here we are going to use parent and circle. So what I will do, how to create object here in this overriding, we have to create reference of parent right, and object of child. That is one of the important concepts, guys. That's why it is called dynamic method dispatch, right? So here what happened, right? I'm going to call a method. What method we have to call? P dot test method. So this test method we are calling here. Let me write some sys out here. So you will get some system dot out dot println, and here I am writing it is a from shape class, suppose. Okay, and in the same I am writing under the child class here. So in the circle I am writing it is what? Circle. Let me keep it one constructor also here, right? So you can get that clear picture on it. So let me write a one constructor shape, and I am writing SS out, and I am writing that shape constructor, something like that. Okay, so that could be a shape constructor. Okay, same I do keep in the circle also. So it is having a like circle constructor. Okay, and here also I will keep it like suppose this shape, and I will make it like circle constructor. So I have two constructors, circle and parent. So that is called covariant return type. So covariant return type, that you have to understand that if the parent class are having return values parent, then in the child class we have a two choice, either I can keep parent or I can keep the child, both I can return here. So that is the covariant return type, right? Same thing is applicable for the access modifier also. Like for example, if your parent class is having access modifier like suppose public, that time in the child class, like in the child class what can we do? So we have a like 4 access modifier. Let me tell you that also, so you can understand that in a better way. So we have 4 access modifier. How many? 4 access modifier. First one is called private, which one is most secure. Private, more secure, right? And then second we have a default, right? Third we have protected, and fourth we have a public. So we have these 4 access modifier. Private is the most secure, right? Default is a less secure to the private, right? But more secure with the protected, right? Protected is less secure with the default and more secure with the public. Public will say that it will be no security, something like that. Could be accessible from anywhere, right? So what does the private say? That it will be accessible inside the class. It will be accessible inside the class, right? What default does say? That it will be accessible, it will be accessible inside the package. Okay, inside the package all the classes. What protected say? That protected say that it will be accessible, it will be accessible inside package and outside the package, right, in case of inheritance. We will cover it, how does it work. Okay, right now you have to focus on the definition only. What public say? That public means it will be accessible from anywhere, it will be accessible from anywhere, from anywhere. So that's why they are having a way of from any place, it will be accessible from any place, like that. Okay, so private does say that it will be accessible only inside the class. Default will say that it will be accessible inside the package in all the classes, right? Package, you know what is the meaning of package? Means kind of folder only where we can create a number of classes. Protected does say that it will be accessible inside the package and outside the package in case of inheritance, right? Public will say that will be accessible from anywhere, any place, right? So if you will not write any access modifier, like for example I am writing here the child test method, right, which is returning the child type. Why it is giving error? The test covariant type child cases return test. Yeah, That is a problem actually here, that I am going to explain you. So in the parent class, what I took public here, right? In the child class, I am taking here nothing. That means if you are not taking nothing, that means it is come a default only. So default is less secure to the default is more secure to the public, right? That time the here security is increasing or decreasing. Here security is decreasing from parent to child, because first we took the no security and the child we are saying that it is a more secure, right? That time it could be a problem and I have to keep here public only, like that, right? So in case of accessibility, right, we can increase the accessibility but we cannot decrease the accessibility, right? So increase the accessibility means here suppose in the parent class I make it suppose no access modifier, that means it will be a default here, right? But in the child class what I can do, I can make it public, then there will not be any problem. So in this scenario what is happening, security is increasing or decreasing? Definitely security is decreasing, right? So we can decrease the security, we cannot increase the security, right? So if your parent class is having an access modifier which is more secure, right, in the child class you can take it less secure, then no problem. But if your parent class having a less secure and the child class if you are taking the more secure, then it will be a compile time problem. So let me write down here the rule of accessibility here, right, in overriding. Rule of accessibility in overriding. What is the rule of accessibility, right? We can decrease the accessibility, right? We can decrease the accessibility from parent to child, but cannot increase, right? Hope you understood that. That cannot increase means if the parent class having a bigger I mean less secure, right, then in the child class we can't make it more secure, right? So that way we have to take care. So that is the rule of accessibility in overriding. So I have covered all the scenarios of overriding which you may face either development or during the interview, right? So I will make one more session, one more video that is having that will cover kind of all interview questions of overriding, right? So what we have to understand that what can be override, what cannot be override, right? So if you do not watch my previous recording, please watch it. You will get complete understanding of overriding, and overriding is one of the top most, I can say, concepts of interview as well as for development perspective, right? So thanks guys, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe it and suggest your friends as well, right? And please take care. Bye bye.